Lisa from the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. I am finally sitting down to record an actual podcast episode for you guys, and it is, I think it's episode 60 today. That's kind of a lot of episodes, so I'm really excited about that. I think that today is going to be a pretty exciting episode because I have not one, but two finished objects, and they are both sweaters, and I'm so excited about both of them. So let's see, I also have one whip that I've been working on. I have a little small update on Owen's project, the stuffed animal that I am working on for him. So we will have a short knitworthy segment, and I have done some more spinning. And if you guys haven't already heard about my hands, you might want to know that I have been doing a ton of natural dyeing. I am going to preface this video really quickly and just let you know my hands look like this. They are getting better, but I've been doing a lot of black walnut dyeing, and if you guys have watched either my Paradise Fibers unboxing September or the vlog that I actually just released today is Friday, September 23rd. So if you guys have seen either of those videos, you will already know all about this situation here, which is actually getting so much better. But in case you haven't seen those videos, this is what happened. So as I've already said, I was natural dyeing with black walnuts, and black walnut is a very potent dye. It's amazing for dyeing yarn. It is an amazing, incredible dye. When I was working with it, I was wearing rubber gloves, and what happened was they ripped. I only had one pair of rubber gloves on, and the fingertips, with me like getting the husk off of the walnuts, eventually the fingertips ripped, and then the juice from inside the walnuts got all inside the gloves. And at that point, my hands were already going to be stained, so I just, yeah, it was a mess. They looked way worse than this. They're getting better. They are starting slowly to return to their normal skin tone, but that's what's going on. And this is why I actually didn't record a podcast episode last week, because they were way worse, and it was really, I was embarrassed. At this point, I'm just going with it because I've tried everything to get these stains removed more quickly, and it unfortunately is just going to be one of those things that just corrects itself with time. And it's probably going to take a good few weeks time before things are normal again. And I had just let you guys know that I was ready to start doing lots of podcasts again. So yeah, I'm not comfortable giving it any more time. I feel like if you guys have been with me for a while, this isn't going to bother you. And if you guys are new here and like you really want to see those perfectly manicured nails and hands are a thing for you, then maybe come back in a few weeks or go back and watch like any video previous to last week when my hands were normal. Because if it's going to bother you, then I'm sorry. It's just the way that it is, but I can't stop living my life because I messed up my hands. So anyway, that is kind of my big disclaimer. Let's talk about all of the exciting things that I have to share with you today, starting with what am I wearing? So let's be real, guys. If you've been watching my podcast at all this past year, you already know exactly what I'm wearing. It's the Modernist Cardi by Renee, Callahan. And I will insert a couple pictures of hers, but I will also show you mine. I'm hoping to actually get out and do a little photo shoot at the Historical Society where I filmed part of my vlog. There's just like, there's a cute butterfly mural there. It's just a cute place to get some photos. And yeah, so I've kind of mentioned to my husband, maybe this evening before it gets dark, we can go over there and hopefully do a little photo shoot. So, but in the event that that doesn't happen, I will stand up and show it to you guys. So here it is. It is amazing. It's really hard to see on camera, but I think this gives you a pretty good idea. So the Modernist Cardi is super boxy. It actually has super long sleeves too, but you're meant to fold them up like this if you want. But I also like having the option of a super long sleeve, not just to cover my gross hands when they're dyed, but when it gets cold, I love being able to, you know, basically put my hands like this. So yeah, this, so this is what it looks like all buttoned up, and I have kind of a crop top underneath, so I'm not going to unbutton it right now, but it looks equally as cute unbuttoned. And let me see if I can kind of get a back view for you guys of the cardigan, because it has a really fun construction. Yeah. This sweater took a while. I think I cast it on last October. So I'm a brand ambassador for Wonderland Yarns, and they sent this yarn to me almost a year ago to work with because I fell in love with it. This is a new, last fall it was a new colorburst colorway called Splashing in Puddles, and I think it's colorburst number 19. And I just, you know, I'm a purple person. I saw this colorway. Teal is like my other really favorite color. I love jewel tones. So I had to have this yarn. And I knew that this was going to be the perfect cardigan to use for the yarn because Renee and hers used a very similar, yarn with the way that the little splashes of color pattern throughout. And so it's really fun. Like you guys saw on the back, you know, they're vertical little stripes like that, and that is just entirely because of the way that this cardigan is constructed, and it's just so fun. I think last time I showed you this cardigan, I was not sure what I was going to do for the buttons, and I found the most perfect buttons. I could not be more pleased. So let me get a little closer so you guys can see these buttons. I'll get my hands out of the way because they're kind of gross. These buttons are from Katrinkles, and they are acrylic and they're iridescent. And I loved that because, well, for a couple of reasons. They are little kitty cats, and the yarn base for this sweater from Wonderland Yarns, this is their Cheshire Cat base, which is their lightweight fingering yarn. And so I just thought having the little cats on the buttons was a super cute nod to the Cheshire Cat. And I loved the iridescence, the way that it was gonna pick up like whatever color. I didn't have to decide, do I want purple buttons? Do I want teal buttons? Do I want white buttons? They're just absolutely perfect. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy with it. And I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this or not. I put, and I'll show you, man, this is not a good view. So hang on one second. I'll just take it off for a minute, and I don't even have to unbutton it. Okay, part of my bra straps, but I just wanted to show you that I sewed in this fun little label. It says made with love and swear words. I was actually looking for my This Took Forever label, but I couldn't find it. and I figured the made with love and swear words was a good label to use as well, because I did swear quite a bit about how forever it was taking me to make this. So yeah, I'm so happy. This cardigan, I knew I was gonna love it, and it was really worth taking 11 months to knit my way through it. Of course, it wouldn't have taken me as long if I knit on it monogamously, but it was a lot of flat stockinette because it's a cardigan, and so it was not knit in the round until you got to the sleeves. And these, with how oversized this is, the rows were so long once everything was connected together, and you were knitting like the body, and it was a light fingering weight, and there was a lot of purling. And I don't know how to knit backwards. I'm not like a really slow purler. It's just not quite as flowy. It doesn't flow quite as well as knitting, the knit stitch does. So anyway, and that is what I am wearing today. And let's go and talk about my other finished object. I did an outfit change. My other finished object, you guys, if you watched my vlog, will know, is my lace and fade Boxy. I love this so much. I love this so much. You guys, it's maybe not gonna fit on the screen so much, but here we go. Here we go. So I think you guys can even see how boxy it is. My body is here, and it is boxy like here, and it flows. It flows so well. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I'm just trying to kneel on my chair here to show you guys the fit. I think I'm gonna try to photograph this one at the Historical Society too, because I can picture the red barns and this looking really nicely together. So yeah, now, all right, so today is the first, it's the first dry day of fall. Yesterday was technically the first day of fall, and it was pouring all day. We had like remnants from the hurricane that came through here, and I changed my earrings too, because I had these, I love like Betsy Johnson earrings, and I figured that these little owls were the same exact colors as the stripes in this, so that would be pretty cute. Not that you can see them, but I just showed you, so it's all good. What was I saying? It rained all day yesterday, so today actually with that rain came cooler weather finally, which we have needed the rain so much. It has been such a dry summer, which has meant that I have not gone foraging for mushrooms. And why am I talking about foraging for mushrooms? Because I dyed the yarn for this sweater with mushrooms that I foraged last year. So this, the lace yarn here is actually Lang Lace. This was the same mohair, silk mohair that I used for the souffle tee by Penrose Knits. And so the Lace and Fade Boxy is, I should tell you, I don't think I said it's by Joji Locatelli. I just think that everybody has seen this pattern and everybody knows that it's by Joji Locatelli, but maybe you don't. Maybe you haven't been watching knitting podcasts, and maybe you're not like constantly on Instagram, and maybe this is the first time you're seeing it. So I should not make such assumptions. This is a relatively new pattern of hers. I want to say it came out maybe 2 months ago, and I pretty much knit on it right away. But the yarn for the main color stripes, I dyed with Cortinarius semi-sanguineous mushrooms, and I'm just trying to get that bottom stripe on here for you. And so this is all naturally dyed except for the mohair silk and the lace. Naturally dyed with mushrooms. that I foraged myself. And so, yeah, I haven't been able to find any mushrooms yet this year, so I haven't really gone out foraging so much because it has just been the driest summer ever. So the rain that we got yesterday was super needed here, like big time. And so we have a long weekend. Owen will be off from school Monday and Tuesday for the Jewish holidays. And so I'm hoping to take him out a little bit during that time that he is going to be home from school and see if we can find anything. But this was a really fun sweater to knit. It was addictive in that way that, like, okay, the beginning of it kind of took a while. Joji has such interesting construction for her sweaters, and this one, I feel like the light is maybe blowing it out a little bit, but this one you start with, let's see, the neckband was the knit last, but you basically start with like the shoulder shaping and the back, and the whole beginning of it is knit flat until you get to like over here so that you can like pick up the arms and stuff. And then once you get past the sleeves, you're able to connect the back and the front pieces together to knit it in the round. And then it went much faster. But the beginning of this, you had to do purling, and there was a lot of short row shaping, which I find really fun and engaging. So I love whenever I get to do short rows. It makes everything seem like it goes by faster. And yeah, but that means that like this very first lace panel was knit flat, whereas everything from like here down was knit in the round. So yeah, I highly recommend this pattern. I think I knit size 3 because I just always knit size 3. So yeah, and the sleeves went by super fast because it's so boxy that you're really starting the sleeves from the elbow and you're just knitting a few inches. So I had this on the blocking mats over the weekend or earlier this week, so I can show you that. But basically, yeah, I'll show you what it looks like on the blocking mats so you can see exactly like how wide the body of this sweater is. Yeah, I did not make any modifications. I thought it was perfect the way it was. I have seen some people knit maybe like an extra lace panel and an extra stripe to make the sweater longer. However, I don't recommend that just because then it's so much fabric, right? Because it's so boxy and there's a lot of fabric this way, and the shape that you get is really nice. And it is not at all a cropped sweater. And I have seen some people lengthen it and then it just kind of becomes tunic length, and to me it just seems like that's way too much fabric. So I mean, you know, you guys can make your own decisions, but I just followed her pattern exactly as exactly as it was, because for me I just thought it was going to be perfect. The other boxy pattern that I knit of Joji Locatelli's was her worsted boxy, and that is one of the favorite sweaters that I have knit, and I really love the way that flows. And it's basically the whole boxy construction is very similar to this sweater, where the sleeves are really from the elbows down and just a few inches, and then the rest of it just flows. So I just knew that I was going to really enjoy the fit and the shape of this, and I think it's a really flattering sweater on everybody that I've seen it on. So I want to show you, because I put a little label in this too. So let's do a little label show and tell. And then I'll show you where I got the labels from too after I'm going to change back into my cardigan after this, because it's a little chilly out today. So I finished this sweater, and it, I think, is going to be better for spring, honestly. Just because in New York, or if you live in a warmer climate, like if you live down in Florida, or, you know, those southern states or out west where you've got warmer weather, then this is probably a really great sweater to knit for right now. But for me, I'm gonna be, I think, too chilly in this in general until the weather starts to get warmer again. So I'm happy that I finished it because I have a sweater ready to go for the spring. But yeah, sorry about the bra straps. I'm wearing the cardigan. I'm not wearing this like this. I just threw it on to put something underneath the cardigan and underneath the sweater. So yeah, sorry about that. But I thought that this little label was really cute. It says Me Made, and it's like a off-white label with rose gold print, and it really matched this perfectly. So I'm going to do a really quick outfit change, and so that we don't have to look at this situation. And then I'll talk about the labels and show you guys where I got those. So hang on. I am back, and I thought I would show you my little gummy bear earrings as well. These are also Betsy Johnson. I love her earrings. They're so fun. Okay, so the labels that I used for both sweaters, I have this cute little tin for storing them. They're by Kylie and the Machine, and she sews, so she makes all these cute little labels. I haven't checked lately to see which new ones she has, but I'll show you what I have. And she is I can't remember, is she Australian or is she from New Zealand? Somewhere in that part of the world. But I have this cute little tin full of labels of hers, and yeah, there's some really cute ones. I'll just show you some. So this is the one that I put in the sweater that I'm wearing, Made with Love and Swear Words. There's like this one that says, Yes, I Made It. There is this one that says Handmade with a hand on it. This one is some cute little washing instructions. So it says, look after me, treat me with care, use common sense, wash only when dirty, mend me if I break. So that is really cute. There's this one that I like and that I have to put in a few sweaters. It says, this is the back. This one says, hold on, I've grabbed two here. This one says, your mama made it, and I use this for things that I make for Owen. Then that's pretty much it, I think. Oh, here's a couple more. This one says Perfectly Imperfect, and I have used that one before. There was another one. Oh, this one is fun. This one says size me on one side of the label, and then on the reverse side it says size you. So you can, if you're making something for yourself, you could have size me. If you're making something for somebody else, you could put the size you. So that's really fun. And I have a couple others in here too. Like the one that I used in the other sweater, it's similar. They all say different things. This one says one of a kind, and it has like that metallic print on them, I think. I don't see all of them, but this one says imperfect. And what is this one? Oh, this one is fun. This will be the last one that I show you. This one says it has pockets. So I'll have to save this one for something that has pockets. So yeah, so that is my little collection of fun labels. Again, it's from Kylie and the Machine. Australia, New Zealand, somewhere over there. I think that if you go to her website, there are stockists in the United States, or you can check and see if your part of the world has a stockist where you could get them more locally, because I imagine shipping from the other side of the world would take quite a while. And yeah, I think I was in Alabama actually right just before the pandemic, which was the first place that I found these labels. And so then after that trip, I went and followed her on Instagram and checked out her website, and I found a place where I could order a bunch of the ones that I really liked a lot. So yeah, so it's been a while since I have ordered these, about 2 years, but I have plenty to last me for a while. Okay, so I think it is time for me to show you my whips. So I have one whip for me that I've been working on, and then the other one will fall into the Knitworthy segment for Owen. So now that I have finished, finally, this Wonderland Yarns brand ambassador project, I am on my next one. And right, it wasn't for my birthday, but the yarn arrived and I opened it on my birthday, which was on Labor Day this year. And they sent me one of their blossoms cakes to work with. You can get these on a few different weights, so on a few different bases. So this is their Mad Hatter Sport Weight yarn. And so it's like a green and brown fade. I've used a lot of the green section already. And they sent me this yarn to pair it with. And I think this is called Unicorn. So this one is, I will tell you the base in a minute, but obviously you can see the sparkle in there. Yeah, so this one is 63% silk, 23% kid mohair, 11% nylon, and 3% lurex, and a bit of magic because unicorn. So I decided that after doing a project for them that took me 11 months to knit, that I could go for some shorter projects. And so they have a pattern for a fun shawl called Going Somewhere, and it uses these two yarns together. You don't have to get these two colors, but I saw the sample in their newsletter and I thought that the colors looked really nice together, and being that I am knitting this in the fall, I thought that they would be really fun colors for the fall. I'm gonna sneeze. So while I didn't work on this a whole lot since the last podcast because I was really trying to finish up these two sweaters, and I've just been doing so much dyeing that has taken up a lot of my knitting time, but I have actually put on a couple more sections. So I'll insert a picture of the Going Somewhere shawl so you can see what the finished product will look like. And then this is how far I have gotten with it so far. So it is a V-shaped shawl, and finally I feel like I'm changing colors in the blossoms cake. So I started in the center, which was the, like, I don't even know what shade of green you would call this exactly. It's kind of like a yellowish celery type green. And then eventually like the brown starts to morph into it. And I didn't actually think that I was there. The change is so subtle. I thought when I was just knitting it in my lab that this was still exactly the same as this, but it's not. We have in fact morphed colors at this point, and now you can see there's a clear difference over here in the shades of color. We are definitely getting into that brown. And so this shawl is knit in two parts. I have not woven in any of my ends yet, so yeah. So I am just about to be done with part one of this shawl, which is the part where you're increasing. So I think what happens after this point, after this last section that I'm working on now, I'm halfway through it with the main color, the one that changes color. I believe that what happens is, I haven't read it through, but I believe the increases stop at that point, and yeah, and then we're just kind of knitting like a larger panel. And it's going a lot more slowly now, but that's okay. It's kind of fun. There's like this is the right side. Yeah, this is the right side. So the right side is when the main color is on the knit side, and the contrast color, the unicorn, is on the purl side, and there is like a little faux slip stitch seam, or it's like a center double decrease that forms this seam down the center of it. And so then the wrong side is obviously the opposite, like that. So I like it that it's like that, because then when you're wrapping it all around yourself, it doesn't really matter if it's, you know, which side is out. There's a right and a wrong on both sides, which I think is kind of fun. But on the wrong side, there's not that seam. So yeah, so technically the right side of the shawl. And so yeah, I think, you know, these colors are different for me. I don't often choose green. They actually had a purple version of this that I did not choose. I just think I was feeling like really desperate to get into the fall weather, and I've actually been working on this purple sweater for a while, so I thought just having something a little bit different to show you guys color-wise would be nice and fun. And so that is where my Going Somewhere shawl is at right now. So I think that that's going to be really nice. The silk yarn, my other skein of it is in my little yarn closet, but it is so drapey and so soft and so nice. So these two different yarns go really, really well together, but this unicorn one is really fun and it's just really drapey. So it's like perfect for a shawl. All right, so that's the whip that I have been working on now most consistently. My goal is to get this shawl finished hopefully by the end of September, but I would definitely want to get this one finished before the Stephen West MCAL, because I don't have colors picked out for that yet. I don't know what yarn I'm gonna use, but that starts October 6th maybe, which is not too far away. So this is gonna be kind of the one that I am going to plug away at, because I would really like to just have this shawl done before starting on Stephen West's MCAL. So really excited about that. I just need to pick my yarn for it, and then yeah, just kind of wait until cast on party day. So let's go into Knitworthy. A quick update on Owen's project. So I actually need to come up with some sweaters to knit for Owen, because he's outgrown everything that I have knit for him. He was really cute. He had his school picture day a few days ago, earlier this week, and he's like, I know what I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna wear my Owen sweater. I was like, no, you're not. It's like in the 80s today, and that is a really heavy sweater, and you're not gonna be comfortable, and besides, I doubt it fits you. So he put it on, and let's just say it was pretty small on him. So he's like, oh, okay, I guess I can't wear that. So I guided him into a t-shirt. So nothing, I don't worry about school pictures with him. I just, you know, I don't know. I don't dress him up. I don't do anything. My original idea was that every school picture I would have a hand knit sweater for him to be in. But they do the pictures so early in the school year. They do them in September, like within the first few weeks of school. And it's in the 80s, and I just cannot, even for a picture, stick a hand knit sweater on the kid. I just don't think that would be very nice. So anyway, so what I have been working on for Owen, and I haven't actually gotten too much further with it than I was the first and last time I showed it to you, is a project from the Harry Potter Knitting Magic book. It's actually not a Harry Potter pattern. It is a Fantastic Beasts pattern, and what I'm knitting for him is Niffler, which is this platypus type thing that likes shiny objects. And so I, this was from my shawl, put it there. I have finished, let's see, last time, it still kind of looks like a turkey. Last time I only had one arm done, and I have since knit this looks like crazy. You can't even tell what this thing is gonna be. The construction is really cool. It's all knit in one piece, but it still kind of looks like a really weird turkey or something. So yeah, you start with like kind of the butt and the feet, and so now this thing has 2 arms, and I am working on the head, and then this little section, I think the next part that I'm supposed to do is the bill for his face, and then this is the pocket. And then this stitch marker, can I just say that is in a really unfortunate place, but that's what we got. So yeah, I actually would like to finish this up maybe this weekend. He's got a long weekend home from school, so maybe we can sit down and watch some of the movies together, and I can continue to work on this because it just looks really awkward, and I bet when it's done it'll be pretty cute. But right now it just looks like this. So yeah, that is what I'm working on for Owen. And I'm just using some like really random yarn from my stash, worsted weight. I think I had to switch colors too, so you can see if I hold it close, you can see the head, and I think it's, yeah, this arm and the head are different from everything else because I ran out of, I think it was actually pretty nice yarn. It was like a Debbie Bliss Cashmerino Aran weight or something for the darker brown, and I'm holding it together with, I want to say it's like from Green Mountain Spinnery, maybe leftover from one of my colorwork sweaters, but I didn't have it labeled, so I'm not exactly sure. But I'm holding these two together, and then this is a vintage, a Barocco vintage chunky. So with holding the worsted and this other one together, it gives me a pretty similar gauge to pair with that yarn for the little fingers and toes and the bill. This thing is just weird. And there's needles everywhere and stitch markers and yarn, and so that's what I'm working on. I'm eager to get it done, but not like so eager that I actively work on it very much, if you know what I mean. So yeah, but so that's the current project. So let's move into spinning. So Arlene from Wild Wolf Farm out in Washington, here is her card. She asked me if she could send me some wool to unbox and sample, and of course I said yes. So I have spun half of it up already. She sent me 2 of her Wild Bouquet bats, and so this is the purple one, which I have not started yet. It is so pretty. You guys tell that somehow she knew my colors because it matches what I'm wearing. It's so gorgeous. So it's a merino and Corriedale mix of fiber. And so they let me know that they triple carded the fiber. So you could see there's different shades of purple. And so they put it through the carder, I guess 3 times to make this beautiful purple blend. And this is so pretty. So there was an equally beautiful teal colored bat that they sent me, and I finished spinning it up just the other day. And so they're in singles right now. I still need to ply them together, but this is what they look like. It is so beautiful, especially in this one. You can see all of the different shades of blue really, really nicely. And oh, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it so much. And so I'm going to apply these together. Obviously I didn't equally divide it before I started spinning it. So I think what I'm going to do is I wonder what I should do. I've never done a 3-ply, and I bet, well, that'll give me a lot less yardage though, and I do want some yardage. So my plan was to do a 2-ply because that's just the only thing I've ever done. But I bet if I divided this one in half, I might have 3 amounts that were a little bit more equal. I don't know. I'm probably gonna go with a 2-ply and just like ply these together, and then whatever is left, ply it with itself. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, this blend, this wool is so beautiful. It is really, really, really easy to spin. It's a little bit different pulling I've never spun from a bat before, so usually I have spun from a braid or just like some loose fiber. So it's like I'm trying to figure out the best way to draw fiber away from the bat to start working with it. But other than that, it's really easy to work with. The fiber is very rustic. There is no nylon or superwash, anything in here. So I've never spun with Corriedale until now, and the blend is just absolutely a dream. It's really sticky and rustic feeling, which I really like. I'm definitely, depending on how much yardage I have, I don't know, what type of project I'm going to use these in, but I'm going to do something with color work, and I really want to use like both of these colors together. So I don't know if I'll do maybe a little pair of mittens, which could be really nice, or just use these together as like a color work section of a much larger project where I get some other fiber or yarn that's already been spun and just use it as a part of that. So what I do with it, not decided yet. But yeah, I think my next step is going to be to work on plying this and to start spinning this. So I'm really excited to work with the purple one. It's so pretty. It's like, I don't know if she watched my podcast before she sent them to me, but these are my colors. You guys all know that, but I don't know if she just had a lucky guess or what, but I love them. I love them so much. Thank you so much, Arlene. If you guys want to check out Wild Wool, they have a Instagram page, and I will insert the name of that here and in the description down below, and they have a website. And yeah, I think you guys should go check out what they have because their fiber is stunningly gorgeous, and I'm really loving spinning it up. So that is my spinning update for this week. And now for the last section is natural dyeing. I dyed a lot of yarn with black walnuts. So this is what I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. It was worth it. This is why my hands are the way that they are, because look at these beautiful browns, especially the really darker ones, which, yeah, it's amazing. Black walnut dye is really great. People use it actually as a stain on wood and furniture made with wood and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty labor intensive actually to get to the point where you can make the beautiful dye and use it, but it is so pretty. It is so good. Yeah, I have so much yarn. So, all right, I've been dyeing on 2 different bases. So, I've been actually trying out, I got a worsted base. Up until now, everything has been fingering weight in the eventual shop, which I hope to get up in like the next month. I am really at a point now where I'm feeling more settled here, and I just, in order to buy more yarn, I need to actually start selling it. So you guys are gonna see pretty soon here, we will be coming up with maybe an Etsy shop or something for the yarn, and I need to get photographs and label things properly and make listings, and it's gonna happen though really soon because I can't invest anymore without selling stuff first. So I've got 6 different dye baths, 6 different dye lots on my worsted base. So they're all so pretty, and they really go well together, the lighter ones with the darker ones, for a nice contrast. So I dyed a lot because I'm able to fit 5 skeins in a dye bath. So this is 6 different dye baths. So there's 30 worsted weight skeins all together. And then the other base that I dyed is my singles base, which is like really great for shawls and things. And so these are the 4 different dye lots that I have on the singles. There might be 1 or 2 more. It depends on how exhausted these dye baths are on right now, because I have some of my sock weight yarn on the stove right now, just a little bit. And if there's any dye left, there might be at least one of those 2 pots might have enough for me to do like another really light one. But yeah, there's also 5 of each of these. So right now there's 20 in the singles base, and then I've got 10 on the sock yarn that's in the dye bath right now. So yeah, I don't think that I'll have a lot of the darkest one on the sock base, because I'm not making any more walnut dye, because I am ready for my hands to return to their regular color. I certainly could. There's still plenty of walnuts out there, but it is very, very labor intensive, and that's a lot of brown yarn. And so yeah, I think I need to focus, instead of dyeing more walnut yarn, on getting pictures and getting listings up and selling the yarn. But it is really beautiful. So I'm so excited about it. But I also did something else really fun for the very first time. I had last fall, maybe 10 months ago, I had gotten a few inexpensive t-shirts from Target, like white t-shirts, and I prepped them for dyeing. So you have to do a lot of prepping when you're dyeing store-bought items, like already produced cotton t-shirts and stuff. You have to scorch them and get all the like dirt and whatever, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it's called. You have to scald it. I don't know. I forget, because it's not something that you have to do with yarn. But those that do natural dyeing with things that they find at thrift shops and just like regular fabric and stuff, you have to go through like a preparation process to get the fabric to a point where the dye will adhere to it. And so I had to boil it, I think, in soda ash, and I had prepped these shirts like 10 months ago or something, and then I never dyed them. So I took 2 of them, and I also have never tie-dyed, but I just kind of scrunched up and tied the t-shirt together, and I made a t-shirt. So I thought that was really fun. It's a little hard to show, but I've got a picture of it as well. And so the back of it looks like that. And so that was, you know, in one of the more recent dye baths from the walnut yarn. And then the other one is a long sleeve shirt that I have, and it's kind of one of these like cute little t-shirt things, and it's long sleeve, and I I folded it differently and tied it. You know, I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of scrunched and tied and figured it was gonna look cool no matter what. And so, yeah. So now I have a couple of t-shirts that are no longer boring white t-shirts. They are really fun tie-dye with natural black walnut dyed t-shirts. So I thought that one came out really cool. I'll put some pictures up of what they looked like drying. I don't know, it was kind of the sunlight behind them, if that was ideal to show it really well or not, but anyway, so that is all the dyeing that I have done. It's been a lot. It has been a very dye intensive week, and I love the yarn. I love everything. I think we have finally reached the end of episode 60. So I forgot to say this at the beginning of the episode, but if you guys would like to follow me elsewhere, I do post all of my projects on Ravelry eventually, and my Ravelry ID is LisaJack78. And then I am also on Instagram at Lisa Westervelt Flute Studio. So you can follow me at those places, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for joining me today, and have a great week. Bye-bye.